Earlier you said there was a jewel, a nugget that was communicated that disappeared, Father.
Yeah, I was asking why it was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how answers were not of particular significance, and why would I bother asking?
Well, we're really talking about openness then.
Hmm.
So the openness. And that's like native vulnerability, see, openness. Not concerned with knowing or not knowing, openness. Well, that also has to do with the technique here in terms of playing. It's not concerned about what it is and what it isn't. So that whatever shows up is true for the feelings in the moment. See, they come up of themselves. That's how it should be, direct, see, unadulterated, let's say, spontaneous, see, intuitively clear, straightforward. Just that. Come in.
Yeah, the simplicity of the process is probably frustrating for the mind, because it doesn't really get to participate. And when one's sense of self is very mental, it's as if, there's a certain emptiness to it that can be either, I'm assuming, unsatisfying, but for me it's very rich, very easy, very joyful to not have to think about it, to not have to worry about it, and for those things to be a direct impediment to what it is and how it works. That's beautiful.
We say there is no such thing. So what could be considered a technique is listening to spirit, listening to emptiness. So just that consideration can be useful to some. Just listening to spirit, emptiness. So, and since that was like the, I guess you might say, instructional guidance from my elders. When I was a child, seemingly getting involved in music, they'd say, close your eyes, and listen to spirit, and see what it gives you. And I told my elders I was already doing that. I was already a closed-eyed musician. Right. When we played the drums, we closed our eyes. Into the drum universe. A stream. So it's really a stream, sound stream. A stream of healing and peace, not of thought and worry. Just being the stream, entering to be the stream.
Yeah. One of the most striking things this morning is just, I'm going to say it again, the ease. The ease of it. It is not difficult. It's not requiring of any type of willful push or controlling of any factors or it's basically just giving it up and giving it up to the right thing, which
can you do that?
Is so easy here. It's the music. Just listening to the guitar is totally giving it up to the right thing. It's
that's good.
It's very obviously heartful and very obviously clear.
Right. So then the giving up is part of a chain. See, it's given up and given back. See, if you give up, you're open to receive, you receive. And then having to value what it is that's coming in more so than what you're being. Because what you're being becomes a fixed obstruction to what it could be in terms of what it is. And so we have to just sort that out for oneself.
Yeah, and beyond that, it's not a process of if you do this, then this happens. Like if you give this, then this gets. It's simpler and less negotiated.
There's no negotiation. You either listen or you don't.
Yeah.
So you're either in the ear or not. See? It's everything. As they say, nirvana is samsara. Samsara is nirvana. The thing is no thing, and the no thing is the thing.
And the other aspect of some of the playing that just happened was the beauty of it. There's an attractiveness, at least to me, of the result of doing that. It's not just the same old mundane stuff. There is a sparkle to it. There's a space to it. There's a magnetism about it.
Well, you mean genuineness. Basically what you're talking about. No, it's genuineness. So this is why it is said that the musicians need to learn how to assess their own feelings. See, to close the gap between thought and feeling and experience and, say, musical expression. So it's not scattered, it's not sort of dependent upon the externals necessarily. In the beginning, perhaps they are useful. But to get to the real, it means it's all let go of, so that what it is in truth can manifest of itself. The feelings can be purely expressed, simply selflessly expressed, or self-arising, another way of saying it. I think a lot of musicians may have that ambition to enter the state of self-arising sound and music, or thought. But perhaps their search for it is what obstructs them. Because it already is what it is.
So what? We just did it. We know that. We do it.
Yeah. Any other comments on the doing and the talking about it?
They are very much in support of one another.
Mm-hmm.
I need, as it seems, more doing than talking, but I've definitely needed the talking. I've definitely needed the clarification and the ideas around the doing of it.
Well, you need to hear what the theory is and then what the proof is.
Yeah.
So you need to hear the so-called way it should be, and then you experience the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it may seem subtle, and sometimes it does feel subtle, the difference between playing from a more gross plane and playing from a plane that is closer to what might be called spiritual. But I guess the more exposure I have to what it means to play from spiritual plane, the more stark
Well,
the differences in the feeling of it.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is that anybody can imitate what I did, but they're not coming from where it comes from.
Right.
If you imitate it, that's not where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what it appears to be. So then you are entering, like most academics and people who are in school, you're training yourself to embrace what it appears to be and not what it is. So you have maybe few real composers. Then let's say not. Most people are not true composers in a certain way. The way it naturally arises in them, and even amongst the composers, there are probably a few true ones. We have to think about it. It comes out of itself. It is possible to get to that place, just as it's possible for it to kind of bubble up and sort of like flow outwards to the world. As it should be. That means you're open to what it is. That's what practice is, opening to what it is. And we're talking about the pristine nature of the thing. See?
And I guess there's an interesting thing here relative to music about the training on the instrument and the history on the instrument being in support of what it is and used by what it is.
It can be. See? So again, using anecdotal evidence, starting out with the drums, and what we were moved to do as a drum band, a band of drummers, would be to chant. It was just natural. You drum and you want to scream and chant because it builds up force. That is, it releases force. So it builds up and it releases force. See? The drums is a beckoning of the inner to arise. See? The inspiration to come up, like for the heart to dance. The drums make the heart dance. It may take a few moments and then you get into it. If the rhythm is such as conducive to the body movement, then the body will naturally, spontaneously want to move, and it moves. Drumming leads to dancing, and dancing can lead to singing. It's part of the drumming. So we're saying all things come from the heartbeat. That's the most important thing. It's on the heartbeat first. No heartbeat, no anything.